Hey everyone, welcome to the PBE Rewind. Here on the PBE Rewind, we go over the biggest news, stories, and events that go down any given PBE week. This is going to be our first episode of the show, and I really hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. To start off, here's a quick update on the standings around the league.
Here is your standings for Week 3. With 28 games remaining, the Eastern Division playoffs seem to be set with the New York Voyagers sitting on top with a record of 56-25, and only 2 games back are the Providence Crabs. These two teams will have a 4-game series to close out the regular season, which could decide first place in the East. Can the Voyagers hold on, or will the Crabs reclaim their throne? This is the race to watch, as the Crabs have won the East the past 5 seasons. The Cancun Toros are 15 games back within their division, and 4 games back of a wildcard spot. I don't see them making a run at the division title, but the playoffs for them are within reach. The remaining teams in the East are not mathematically out yet, but being 30 games back of the Voyagers and 19 games back of a wildcard spot, this will require a miracle for Florida, Outer Banks, and New Orleans. Let's get you over to the West. In the Western Division, the Death Valley Scorpions are currently on top of the division and league at 57-24. The month of August saw the Scorpions fall below 500 baseball for the first time all season, dropping a crucial 4-game series to their division rival Vancouver. The San Antonio Sloths at 52-29 are within striking distance of Death Valley and only being 5 games back in the West. If the Scorpions' play continue to falter down the stretch, the Sloths could overtake them. The Vandals are 8 games back and still have a shot at the division title, but their efforts may be better used to overtake San Antonio in the wildcard race for home field advantage. The Raptors are fighting to keep their playoff spot as they hold a 4-game lead on the Toros for the final wildcard. Nashville and Detroit also have not been mathematically eliminated, but are 16 and 21 games back respectively of the final wildcard spot. The top 4 teams in the West are all within a handful of games of each other, and it's anyone's guess how things will shake out. Now, let's get you over to the minors. Over in the minors, we have only 24 games remaining, and the Hepcats have a commanding lead in the Western Division with a 47-29 record. They are up on the 66ers by 6 games. These two teams have a 4-game series to close out the regular season, and it could very well decide first place. In the Eastern Division, things are a lot closer. The Chicago Kingpins are leading the division with a 500 record at 38-38. They lead the Swifties by 1 game, the Dynamos by 3 games, and the Mounties by 7 games. State College has a chance to overtake Chicago as both teams have 2 4-game series against each other. Who will win the East and final wildcard spot? Check back next week to find out. And that is it for your majors and minors PBE standings.
Thanks for the update on the standings, Blue. Moving on now to Balrog, where he's going to give us some of the highlights of the week.
Coming up next, we've got highlights for the month of August. First up, we'll be talking about our players of the month. That designated hitter, we've got Ulysses Rove for the New York Voyagers. On the month, he's got 28 hits, with 6 of them being doubles and 7 home runs and 26 total RBIs. He's batting .295 on the season. The starting pitcher of the month is J.A. Jabs of the Providence Crabs. On the month, he had 4 wins with a .097 ERA and 46 total strikeouts on the month. Even more impressive, throughout the entire month of August, he only gave up 4 runs total. And to round things out, we've got the Rookie of the Month, first baseman Rusty Kuntz of the Providence Crabs. On the month of August, he had 20 hits and 2 doubles and 6 home runs with 15 RBIs. He's got a .226 average on the season. Now for some player highlights. Starting off with San Antonio Sloths, Callaway Flowers pitches a 1-hit shutout against the Outer Banks Aviators with 10 strikeouts and only 1 base on balls allowed. Next up, the New York Voyagers, R.J. Menard sets the PBE regular extra inning game record for strikeouts with 6 total. Now we take a look over at the Vancouver Vandals, who had Brett Lorno strike out 15 against the Florida Space Rangers. Staying with the Vancouver Vandals, Aston Bentley pitches a 4-hit shutout against the Death Valley Scorpions with 12 strikeouts and only 1 base on ball allowed. The San Antonio Sloths' Scott Poe hits a 3-run homer against the Detroit Demons, going 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Quite the performance. And to round things out over at the Vancouver Vandals, Johnny Times 2 goes 5 for 8 against the Death Valley Scorpions with 2 doubles, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs across. Quite the game. That's all for highlights. There was a lot of action around the league, and we'll be back to bring you even more next week.
Thanks for keeping us updated on those highlights. Moving on now, we have a special story about the Season 20 New York Voyagers.
When asked about the Eastern Division before the start of the season, many PBE experts stood strongly on the belief that the Providence Crabs would be the best team in the division for the 5th season in a row. It was tough to consider any team being better than them. After winning the World Series, Providence made an effort to continually strengthen their core in hopes of staying a major contender. The Crabs added big names like J.A. Jabs and former MVP Speedy Gonzalez to supplement an already loaded roster of names like Dorothy Muramura, Richard Small, and reigning Pitcher of the Year, Barack Obama. Elsewhere in their division, the Season 19 World Series runner-up Cancun Toros faced major losses of many core pieces from their Season 18 championship team. The Florida Space Rangers had talent, but not enough to best the reigning champs. The Aviators and the Rougarous are both getting better day by day, but they were still a ways away from becoming major contenders. The Eastern Division seemed like a cakewalk for the Crabs, but then enter the New York Voyagers. Many predicted the Voyagers to have a decent year, but not one that would rival the Toros, or especially the Crabs. But the Voyagers came out swinging in Season 20. Their early wins were supplemented by a lightning rod season for Tentacion. Tentacion took an early lead in the PBE home run and RBI totals. 3 quarters through the season, he's still at the top of both. Ulysses Rove, who has quietly been one of the league's best power hitters in New York, is continuing to destroy the ball after ball. He currently has 21 dingers on the year and 70 RBIs. RJ Menard continues to impress in his relatively young career with a .296 average and 31 stolen bags, and Eric Rivers has been stripping almost every ball thrown to him with 55 RBIs and a slugging of .511. The real hitting highlight for New York, however, has come from their left fielder, Hunter Harrison. Harrison, a 12-season veteran in the majors, has reached a point in his long career where many would either hang up their boots or let the younger guys take the spotlight. Not Harrison. The former league MVP is slashing .348 with .446 on-base percentage and .606 slugging, all of which are the best in the league. After a lengthy tenure in Vancouver, Harrison has bounced around between teams in the last few seasons. After stints in Providence and Detroit, Harrison is now a Voyager, and he has been doing wonders for this team, currently posting 5.8 wins above replacement, the best in the league. Harrison is on pace to potentially win league MVP for the second time in his career, but it's clear that he eyes something greater than that, something that has eluded him his entire career, a championship. So are the Voyagers legit? Their number one hitting team would lead you to think so. However, struggles on the mound have somewhat hindered them. Despite great seasons from Kevin Choate, Joey Slothface, and Reginald Savard, the Voyagers have found themselves in the hole on a number of outings. A recent trade for Detroit's Colbin Fairborn may remedy their woes, but still too early to tell. The Voyagers are currently 56-25. Best record in the East and the second best record in the league. Providence, however, is currently hot on their tail. The Voyagers only stand 2 games ahead of the reigning champs, who intend to make a late season push. But the Toros are also pushing out their early season struggles. The Voyagers may have just a lot on their hands, and their hands will be very full before the start of the postseason. But as it stands right now, the Voyagers are crushing balls en route to the playoffs, where they are contend for what could be the 3rd PBE championship.
Thank you for that special story. Now we're going to have our top 5 and our commissioner.
Welcome to this week's Tahini Top 5. I'm your commissioner, Hummus God. And boy, do we have a crazy one for you this week. So sit tight, sit back, and buckle up.
As William Stone hits it to the gap, it's a liner. That should drive all runs. He goes for the 3rd, and he is safe. That's a bases clearing triple.
This was actually ruled a double here for Stone. Watch him slide in here. Nice base running. Scorpions win 13-1. Ed Barker, a dominant win for the Scorpions. And they're moving runners here. Nice hit and left. So 2 runners now for Junie Panda, who's, like I said, MVP conversation. They'll bring the runner home, and the throw from center was absolutely disgusting. Jay Doctor said, no. Double, 1 out, double. So Sir Doctor, Javier Dominguez Jr. Oh, and the runner decides to go in there with the sliding.
They got him.
Oh, he's out. The gunned out by Pluto and a grounder. So defense is what gets Dallas out of there. Johnny Pluto is your defensive player that you're happy about if you're Dallas. So Pluto, who's up to bat, it's deep and it's gone. Pluto having a night. Clip that. Maybe you could get both that gun out and the home run in the clip.
This looks like it's going. Ooh, just over the wall. Home run from Sandy Hayden. That was the first run of this All-Star game. The West takes a winner.
Watch Sandy Tater sit back and wait on his pitch to absolutely blast this one. 417 feet. That's how you break open an All-Star game. Well done.
Second, no outs. There's an out. Strikeout looking by Mungus. Base is loaded here, 1 out. Danny D takes the walk. Stacking paper, double play. And they get it. And so the West will win this one. Close one. The opportunity was there for the East.
Watch Lucky El Charo create all kinds of chaos with the walk to force bases loaded, then gets Ben Stacking Paper to ground to a double play. Nice win by the Western All-Stars for the minor leagues. Nice save by Lucky El Charo.
Western one. Now it's the other way around. Love, look out. That's out of here. 2-run blast for James Love. Golden Grams was one coming in to pitch, and that makes it 2-1 as the West takes the lead.
This 2-run blast was smoked by James Love. Gave his team the lead. It went 399 feet. Number 2 play of the week, your 20th season's All-Star game. Nice home run by James Love.
One game, the East needs to run here. Colby Kidd is going to come in pitch to try and close this game out. Ground out for out number 1. Strikeout for out number 2. And strikeout for out number 3. So the West takes this one 3-2.
Fitting that both All-Star games ended in tight spots for the closing pitcher. First, a ground out by Dan Halen. Colby Kidd on the mound for the Western All-Stars. Strikeout by Tentacion, one of the best batters in season 20. And then with 2 outs, RJ Menard will come up and Colby Kidd. Back-to-back strikeouts. Congrats on the win, Western All-Stars, season 20 professional baseball experience. Your All-Star game winners.
Thanks for that Tahiti Top 5, Hummus. Moving on, we're going to have our final section of the day, what to look for next week of Sims.
Let's check out some storylines to look forward to for next week. The New York Voyagers are currently atop the Eastern Division. However, the Crabs are not yet out of it and only stand 2 games behind them. Both teams finish off the regular season with a final series against each other. Only one team can prevail as the best in the division. The Boise Raptors have been a surprisingly solid force this season that currently holds on to the final spot in the PBE playoffs. But a recent surge by the Cancun Toros that brought them back over 500 could derail Boise's playoff hopes. Which former champion will secure the final spot in the playoffs? Scorpions, Voyagers, Crabs, Sloths, 4 powerhouses in the majors, all vying for the number 1 seed. The Scorpions and the Voyagers have been teams to beat this season, but don't count out the hot surges from the Sloths and the Crabs. There can only be one king of the hill. The winners of the 2 divisions in the minors are still very much up for grabs. In the West, the Hepcaps have been a force to be reckoned with in the minors this season, but the 66ers have been hot on their tracks for weeks. In the East, the race is even tighter. The Kingpins still hold the best record in the division, but only by 1 game. The Swift Steeds hope to take advantage of any misstep from the Pins, but will the Dynamos come out of nowhere to steal the spotlight? All that and more in the upcoming sim.